So in today's video, what I'm going to do is a Q&A with Paul while we're at Hogan and just read off a bunch of the questions that have been asked. There's a lot of them. I'm going to take Paul out for his birthday. We're going to do some okie pizza. So I'm going to get Brody all nice and clean. I'm going to go on a date. We good?
Yep.
Oh, I gotta get my pizza. Can't lose
Pizza.
Pizza. Can't tell on this spot, but went to the lake. It was packed with cars. The sun was going down, so there was definitely no way of doing this part of the video for the Q&A with all that going on and no light. And so here we are in the front yard.
We're in our front yard campsite. We just wrapped a video that's going to be on my channel talking about my birthday. Happy birthday to me. I'm now a senior citizen. So as is customary in our family, when it's your birthday, you get to have okie pizza. So that's what we're doing. But we're doing it at our campsite in our front yard. And as you can see, the sun has pretty well set. So I guess we're going to answer some questions that you've sent in on social media or asked in comments. So while you're doing that, let me have a sip of my RC Cola. Whoops, I just dropped it. Let's go.
So we're gonna start with Brian Ross.
Hi, Brian.
Brian. So he says that he had some other things. I kind of took that out. He says, I have removed the motor and transmission and inspected its condition and all looks good. What oil pan gasket do you recommend? And then he says, I put a cork one in but tightened it too much and it blew out. So I need to try again. I want the car back on the road by June 23rd.
That's an old question. Sorry, Brian.
Hopefully, you mean next year?
Next year. That's what he meant. There you go. I always use the cork gaskets. I have great luck with those. I've had bad luck with the paper ones. But yeah, just don't over torque it. So I just kind of like, I don't even put a torque wrench on it. I just go like that and like call it good. You know, when Derek and I were building that car in Michigan, we had it up on the lift, that 28 coupe that he had. And we were putting the oil pan on and I told him, don't torque it. So he just put the bolts in as far as he thought they should go when he was helping me. And so I went to torque them and it's like, they're already torqued. It's like, how tight did you go? So I had to turn one a little more to see how tight it was. And it was already way too tight. So, well, Derek, he's a big guy. So he's like, So the answer to that is to torque it enough to where it's just snug, where it's not going to fall out, and that's it. And the cork will squish. You can actually see the cork squish if you look, at eye level there. And as soon as the cork squishes, stop. That's it. That's all you need. That's why there's lock washers on those, so they don't back out.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that. I don't know when he sent that, but sorry, guys. We've just been so backed up, busy, traveling, all that good stuff that just...
No excuses. Sorry.
It got away from me. So Bobby.
Hi, Bobby.
Or Bob, I guess.
Hi, Bob.
Now they have those things for the YouTube where it's just like that @
Oh,
and
right.
it gives like a long thing. So anyways, this was asked on our Q&A 17. He says, our Model A always, I think he meant shifted gears.
Okay.
There's a T in there. SHITED. So I think he meant shifted.
I know what he meant.
Okay, so the shifted gear is fine. The last time I drove it, it was fine. Now it grinds between first to second and second to third. Changed transmission fluid, thinking that would fix it, and it didn't. Any ideas what happened to cause this?
Clutch adjustment, maybe, or the fluid that he put in isn't thick enough.
Oh, it needs more a thicker viscosity.
Thicker. Yeah, use the Mobile Gear XP460 or whatever it's called. Mobile Gear XP400. I talked about it in a short video, and that is like the closest thing to the original Ford 600W. So the regular, regular 90-150 or whatever you could buy at O'Reilly's is not thick enough.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you need thicker. Or, if you don't want to dump what's in there now, just go get you some STP, that oil treatment, that stuff that's like snot, it just like barely comes out when you pour the thing.
Oh, wow.
It's like a a Blizzard from Dairy Queen, how they serve them upside down. It's like you can hand someone the bottle upside down. Get you some STP, pour that in the transmission, let it mix with everything, thicken it up, and you'll probably be okay.
Wow. Okay. Hopefully that helps.
Hope that helps.
All right, this is Spooky Dog.
Hi, Spooky Dog.
So he says, YOM plates.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a set of 1926 commercial plates for my truck some years back for next to nothing. They do show a bit of time on them with mirror rust, but are in good shape. Does DNV require like new plates, and if they don't clear, are they returned?
Well, I can only speak for my state because I've gotten YOM plates, which stands for year of manufacture. Like how my Sport Coupe has the 1931 plates, those big long ones. I've done that on several Model A's now. So for California, you have to take the plates in. The first thing to do is hold a magnet on them to see if they're steel or, because there's people that make them out of aluminum now, reproductions and whatnot. They don't want you to use a reproduction. It has to be an original. As far as the finish goes, their guidelines are very broad. It just says serviceable. So it's kind of a judgment call by whoever's working the counter. But for the most part, I mean, I took those plates in that I had powder coated that one time, and they passed. I got the right guy on the right day. But I have taken plates in that were kind of rusty or whatever, and they looked at, oh, these are definitely original, okay, and sailed right through with them. The issue is, can they read it? So is there enough contrast between the orange and the black, or yellow black for California, depending on the year? Is there enough contrast where they're still, like, could a police officer see them from a distance? I think. But it's a total judgment call. If for some reason they kick them back, go to a different DMV. Or a different day, pick a different person at the counter. But they're going to check the size. They're going to check to see if they're really steel. And although the rules say you can't refinish them, everybody does. And all of mine have been refinished and never a problem.
All right. Good luck on that one.
Good luck.
Hopefully you'll just pass and
Hopefully just get them,
nice.
boom, done. Now, the only problem and the part I hate is the extra fee every year added on to the renewal to have YOM plates.
Really?
Oh,
Stupid.
you know how much it hurts me.
So they like to just punish you.
Oh yeah,
for not
it's
getting the brand new ones.
It's a punishment for using your own plates.
So sucky.
Yeah, it's I don't want to get into a rant because
Don't get into a rant. It's your birthday. Be
it's
happy.
my birthday. I'm supposed to be happy. I'm a senior citizen now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm supposed to rant about, kids get off my lawn and all that.
Yeah, if it's that time, okay. I'll have to plant you some lawns so you can tell them. All right, this is Douglas.
Hi, Douglas.
He says, I really want to get a Model A thanks to both Paul and yourself.
Good.
I live in the South Florida area, and there are
Nice.
a lot of congestion with traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Can a Model A stay cool in a hot Florida summer sitting in traffic? I'm the kind of guy that likes to drive his antique cars, and both the traffic and summer heat are
Okay.
brutal here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I've been to
It
Florida.
should, right?
Oh. Well, here's the trick.
Yeah. What's the trick?
This is a big air quotes.
Yeah?
If you have the right radiator, absolutely.
Okay.
So I have all of our radiators record just because. Even if somebody says, "Oh, the radiator's in great shape," whatever. Well, define great shape. It didn't overheat when it was 65 on the downhill. Okay. So, Model A, since the cooling system is not pressurized, it's strictly relying on gravity to take the water that's been pumped up by the water pump. The water pump on the motor just pushes. It doesn't really pull, it pushes. So it pushes water into the top tank of the radiator, and then it's like Plinko. If you ever seen Plinko on The Price is Right? Mm-hmm. It's like Plinko. The water has to find its way to the bottom with gravity. If there's any kind of blockage or if there's grease in the tubes or anything like that, it will hinder the flow of the radiator. That will obviously hinder the cooling. So that's why, as a rule, I just instantly have every radiator record before I even start driving the car, if it's, new car to me. So like I never have any problem with overheating because I've got new radiators, cores. So I have them built with a 4-row or 4-core radiator. The stock Model A radiator was a 3-core, which means there's 3 rows of tubes and then 6 fins per inch. So for every vertical inch, there was 6 horizontal fins. So 3-row, 6 fins per inch. That's the stock Model A radiator. That will work in 99% of the areas. Southern Florida, I've been to Marco Island. I've been all around Southern Florida. I'm familiar with it. There's going to be days where that's going to be almost inadequate, especially if you're pulling hills. So if you got the 4-core and get a 9-fin or 10-fin or 10 fin per inch radiator, at least a 9-fin per inch radiator, it will never overheat.
Nice.
So remember when we did the tour to Reno, you didn't go with me to the trip up. That was where we almost got killed by the guy that fell asleep behind the wheel.
That was crazy.
So we're pulling the hills. By the time we actually got up to the top of the summit, like to be able to go down, it was already 103, 105 degrees.
Wow.
And everybody's overheating everything. Not me. Mine just stayed right at 160. I'm just like, so, and Bob too, because he has a 4-core, 9-fin per inch radiator. He's just driving along. It was like nothing. I mean, I was dying inside the car. I was sweating to death, but the car was like, no sweat.
Nice.
So if you're going to drive in that traffic in that area, then get your radiator record, get a nice, 4-row, 9 or 10 fin per inch. And most any radiator shop can do that. Most of them.
This is Gus.
Hi, Gus.
Yeah, Gus. Hi, Gus.
Hey, Gus.
Says he is looking for a new motor for his 1929 Model A. Can you please help me? Thank you, Gus. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Well, I mean, is he looking for a new motor like he wants a Burt's motor, or is he looking for like rebuilt? What's he trying to do?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question, Gus. Which way are you trying to go? I mean, if you're trying to get us to help you find one from another car or salvage one or whatever, we definitely don't have the time to be doing that kind of stuff, unfortunately.
No, this is where a club comes in really handy.
Club.
Yeah, you go to your club and say, has anybody got an engine sitting on a stand they want to get rid of?
Yeah.
And there'll be like 2 or 3 guys, oh yeah, I got one in the back corner of my shop, or whatever. The other thing you could do, contact a shop that rebuilds Model A engines. And they'll probably want to do an exchange. If not rebuild yours, they'll want to do an exchange if you need one right away. I mean, if you need it right now, I think Burt's has rebuilt engines on the shelf ready to go. Wow. I think they also have Burt's engines built, I think. But call Steve up at Burt's Model A Center and ask. I mean, if you want one right now, like not exchange, just want to buy one, you better have a thick wallet. It's pretty outrageous. Oh, it hurts. Yeah. If you're patient and have time to wait for your engine to get rebuilt, it's way cheaper.
Yeah.
Lots. Yeah.
Okay. You can also go on Facebook, Mafka or Mafka. I know everybody says it different, but they have a Facebook page where there's a lot of people on there. I think they have thousands of people on there.
Pretty sure.
That are always sharing things and asking each other stuff, and you might be able to find one through them even. So lots of different ways.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Jay McCourt said they got something like 40,000 members now.
Oh, is it that many?
Yeah.
Holy mackerels.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
All right, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe. He says, how long does it take to drain the radiator? Mine seems to take 2 to 3 hours, and I'm not
Hours?
not sure if that is normal, which
No.
I'm going to guess it's not by your response. If there's some blockage going on,
Yeah.
I'm going to guess probably by your response. I'm on a second vinegar soak to get so many years worth of rust out.
Okay.
Hoping it won't overheat anymore.
Well, are you trying to drain the radiator by opening the petcock on the return pipe? If so, you open that up and it should be like a constant stream. It should be about as, I don't know if this is going to make it to the video, but it should be like a urine stream. So I don't know how else to describe
It's a keeper.
Okay, so if it's like a strong urine stream, then you're good. If not, then you need Flomex. No, what you need to do is poke something up in the hole. Now that sounds way worse.
He's like, oh.
Oh, so poke something into the hole to free whatever debris is blocking it. So it probably has kidney stones in the system. So you need to just block that and get it all out of there. If all else fails, take the pipe off. Let the radiator drain out through the large orifice. And then after it drains, kind of stick your finger in there and clear out any chunks that are in there or whatever. Then put the pipe back on.
Wow.
Yeah, it should empty like in a minute.
Wow.
I mean, it goes pretty fast.
Do you want more pizza?
I'm good.
Okay. All right.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday. James.
Hi, James.
Hi, James. Says, this was on the changing the headlights when I did the LEDs.
Oh, yeah.
So he was asking.
That was great for getting home tonight.
Oh, yeah, that was fantastic. Let's see. He thanked me for the information on focusing the headlights with the LED bulbs. Says, can you ask Paul if he knows if more teeth on the speedometer gear A17272 will result in a faster mile per hour indicator?
More teeth on the drive gear will make the speedometer run slower.
Oh.
Yeah. So the turtle that's underneath, that is just behind where the U-joint housing is, that's where the speedometer drive comes off of. That turtle in there, the gear that's on the drive shaft inside the torque tube, that gear is pretty much a fixed gear. What they change is the turtle gear. That's the gear inside that actually runs. I know. I know. The gear that actually runs the flexible cable that goes up to the speedometer. So fewer teeth on that spins the speedometer faster. Caught you with a mouthful.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it says Charles and something, but this is Tony.
Hi, Tony.
So he's out of Kentucky. He replaced one of the brake chambers on the right side because it was messed up. But looking at the other brakes, they're not the same type. The new brake is fiber pad, and the other 3 brakes are pads. My question is, would you replace all of them, or if the fiber work well with the pads, they have quite a bit of meat on them?
I ran into that exact scenario when we did Athena.
Okay.
Remember that coupe, the red coupe?
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole playlist for that car. And the front brakes, I think it was, had different pads, different shoes.
Yeah.
Than the rears. I think one of them even had like a bonded shoe on one side and a woven on the other of the same brake. The brakes on that car were horrible. I mean, they were barely a suggestion. And so I went through. What I did, though, I replaced the woven ones because there were actually more bonded shoes than woven ones. So I elected to replace the woven ones with other bonded shoes that I had. So I went through all my brake parts and I measured how much meat was left on all the bonded brake shoes in the car. And they were all about the same. And there was, I don't know, let's say 40,000s, 50,000s, whatever. So I went through all my stash to find brake shoes that had about the same amount of meat left. And I swapped the woven ones with the bonded ones, put the brakes all back together, new springs and all that, adjusted the brakes, and that car stopped on a dime after that. That car had great brakes after that.
Oh, wow.
One of the best, yeah. So as long as they're all the same, I don't care if they're woven, bonded. I've got woven on my 4-door, and that car will lock them up, no problem, no sweat. And that car is bone stock. I mean, that's the unrestored car. So I have the woven shoes on there with the stock steel drums, and that thing stops like that. So
it has to do with brake adjustment, right?
it has a lot to do with brake adjustment and whether or not the parts inside the brakes are worn.
Yeah.
So like the tracks and things that the brake shoes have to ride on, if those are worn down or whatever, your brakes will never work right. Or like a lot of people harp on the brake actuator arms on the front having to tilt forward. So that way when you apply the brakes, so you step on the brakes, it pulls back on those. And when you want them to be vertical, when you're getting maximum braking. So that's like maximum leverage against the brake shoes when braking. So, you know, we use the spacers and the pins that go through the king pins that run the brakes. We put spacers in there so that we get the brake actuator arms kind of forwarded about, 20, 25 degrees, whatever. And then when they grab, they should be perfectly vertical. So that helps braking. I mean, all these little things. I've done a video about brakes, but we need to do another one that's real in depth, I think, one day. Maybe when we do the brakes on this, we'll just really do an in-depth. But everything works as a system. The braking system is a system. No one thing makes all the difference. So everything has to be in good shape, not worn out. I like using brand new springs on everything. Even if a car has fairly new springs, if I take the drums off, I go ahead and swap the springs.
Yeah.
I just like nice, crisp brakes. I like brakes that give me confidence, because there's nothing scarier than driving somebody else's car that's got iffy brakes and coming up to a stop, or, you know, what if a kid runs out in front of me? What if a car darts and not knowing whether or not you can stop?
Yeah. All
Yeah.
yours stops on a dime.
All my cars, oh yeah, because I care about my brakes more than anything. I don't even care if it runs right, as long as it stops right. That's what I care about most. Most people, when they get a car that they haven't seen, the first thing they do is get it running. Not me. I do the brakes first. But, I mean, if the engine fires off, okay, great. Then I stop, do the brakes, then dig into the engine. I'm backwards though.
Safety first.
Safety first.
All right. Another James.
Hi, James.
My 1930 Roadster, I use Velcro cable ties to keep the pins on the middle top support in place. They separate and drop down otherwise. Looks like your pins have some sort of sleeve on the pins. Maybe they are out put to tension on the frame to keep the pins in place. I suspect I have an earlier top irons, 28 or 29 on my Roadster, as the front wing bolts have the fine threads.
Oh.
Later model wing nuts have coarse threads. Wood parts also look to be replaced. Also suspect my car was on its side sometime in its life, requiring the top irons to be replaced.
There's a lot to unpack here. So the pins I believe he's talking about are the ones inside. So if you unzip the rear flap and then fold that flap up and then hold it in place with the pins so it stays up against the top, I believe that's what he's talking about. If so, those pins are not backed by anything, just those straps, and the tension on those straps is what holds those. They move a little, you know, when you move the, like I've had the flap up on my Sport Coupe several times, and although the top on my Sport Coupe doesn't go down like this, it's basically the same top though. And I mean, it does this a little bit. It doesn't bother me. I don't look at it. It doesn't fall down. But those pins that he's talking about, they're a spring-loaded pin, and unfortunately, when LeBaron Bonney went out of business, I guess so did the manufacturer of those pins, whoever was making them for LeBaron Bonney. Yeah, so they're kind of unobtainium now. So if you ever see any at a swap meet, grab them. Because when they wear out or fall off or whatever, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unless somebody else is making them now that we're not aware of.
Yeah, like
their
what happened with the
husband and
rubber
things.
mats.
Yeah. Sometimes there are things that seem untainable.
Unobtainium. Yeah.
And then we end up finding that some company out there
Somebody's doing
does make them. We just didn't know about it.
Yeah.
So we keep learning stuff along the way.
Yeah, we're just normal people. Yeah.
Yeah, that was from, I think that was a question from when I showed how the top goes down.
Oh, is that? Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah, those move around. Don't worry about it. They're liquid, fluid.
It's Robert.
Oh, hi, Robert.
Hi, Robert.
Of course, it's Robert. Go ahead.
He's from Texas.
From Texas. Yes, we like
So,
Texas.
he says, I have a 1931 Roadster. Mine has the wheel on the fenders. Bad idea, Henry, he says in quotes.
Well, it looks really cool, though.
I know, it just looks so
It
beautiful,
does look cool.
but
Yeah.
I think everybody knows how we feel about that now from my one video. I have several questions for you and Paul. How do you get the spare tire out of the fender well? Which I made a video about that.
You did a whole video.
I'll put it up there. I'll put
right
the
here,
link,
right
and
there.
then hopefully that will help. My car has been sitting for years, but it does run and drive. Let's see. My top is very stiff. What should I use to lubricate the bars? I really love your videos. Thank you, Robert.
Ooh.
What should you use on that that'll be okay?
See,
and
that's
not
a
gunk up?
problem. That's the problem.
There's something that needs to be to where it won't gunk up.
Yeah. So this is going to be unpopular with the web forums, but I use graphite.
Graphite?
Yeah, because I don't want to use anything liquid, because if I get any in the top material, it's going to soak through and stain the top.
That's true.
Graphite will too, but it won't soak through. So what I like to do is I'll put, something up above it, plastic, paper, whatever, and then use that little thing. It's like a tube of graphite, but it like breathes. It's like when you squeeze it,
Oh,
and it blows, and it blows some graphite.
yeah.
So put your paper up there, blow some graphite into the joint, or the pivot point, whatever it is you're trying to lubricate. That's my cheat. That's the cheat.
Oh,
Back in the old days, they used grease, but they didn't care if it soaked through the top and stained it. They didn't care, but
Yeah.
now we do.
I guess it doesn't matter so much if it's some dark color, but even then
No.
it might show. Who knows? I don't
No,
know.
it probably wouldn't.
But if it's light like mine, oh my gosh.
Well,
it's
if it's
gonna show
canvas,
terribly.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if
Don't
it's
do
the
it.
black vinyl-like material, like what's on the business coupes and some of the early roadsters with the black, almost vinyl
Oh, yeah,
kind of,
that's right.
then it wouldn't matter. It'd be cool. Just grease it.
Okay, so use good judgment.
Yeah, use the spray grease, man. That stuff it's magic.
All right, this is Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Hello, Michael. He says,
What does Michael say?
on a future video, elaborate on standard coupe, deluxe with rumble seat, roadsters, etc., with some reasons why spare tires were mounted on the rear as an opposed to the side mounts.
Okay. That's actually pretty easy to do. Your Roadster is a standard. Okay, so you can really tell the difference between a standard and a deluxe by looking for the cowl lights. Your Roadster does not have cowl lights. Now, the standard Roadster would have come with cowl lights. It would have had would not have come with cowl lights, sorry. It would have come with rubber floor mats, the bare minimum, fake leather seat, the cardboard with the fake leather covering kick panels and door panels, bare minimum. It still could have come with a rumble seat though. And the rumble seat, the bottom would have had a rubber mat, and the seat would have been made out of the similar material as the interior seat, the fake leather, whatever it is. So that would have been a standard. The deluxe Roadster, on the other hand, has the premium materials.
The real leather. And
The
all
real leather, yeah, and then the cowl lights and all that kind of stuff. You could have carpet inside that was like, I don't know. It wasn't the mohair. It was some other, plusher or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, it was a little more upscale. So as far as Roadsters go, it added a little bit more classiness to it, I guess, but mostly it was looks. When you get into like the difference between a standard two-door and a deluxe two-door, that actually makes a big difference in the interior of the car, because, a standard two-door, again, rubber mats, no cowl lights, on and on. You move to a deluxe two-door, and I know you didn't ask about two-doors, but this is answering the question. Deluxe two-door had the mohair seats. It had the carpeting. It had the nice, kind of carpeted sort of, door panels with the thicker fake leather material, The whole interior was nicer, quieter. It was just a genuine it's an upscale version of a standard. Now, it's not a Lincoln or a, Pierce Arrow, but you know what I mean, as far as Model A's go. So that goes for any body style coupes even. So like Gandalf is a deluxe coupe. It's got the fake wood grain, dash panel. It's got the mohair seats. It's supposed to have carpet. It doesn't yet. Stuff like that, just to make it a little bit more plush. Personally, just for looks wise, I love the standard. My opinion, this is just my opinion. Now I'm going to get to the side mount spare. My opinion is a Model A was the everyman's car. It wasn't supposed to be fancy. Henry Ford was not a flashy guy. He was into basic, blah, 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 which I am too.
We wanted everybody to be able to afford one.
You want everybody to be able to afford one, that's great. And then there were some people that could afford a little more and wanted a little more, and that's great. My personal preference is I like the standard. So my four-door's a standard, my Sport Coupe's a standard, your Roadster's a standard. I like that. I really liked the deluxe when it comes to a sedan, though, not a coupe, a sedan,
Yeah.
because it makes a real difference in the interior. Like our two-door was a deluxe.
Yeah.
Love that. The plush interior, it was quieter, it was more inviting. It wasn't as utilitarian, you know, it wasn't a work truck, it was a car, you know, it felt, you know. So moving on now to side mount spares, and we talked about the video you just did not too long ago on side mount spares. They look neat. They look really neat.
They do. They look so classy.
If your goal is to have a car that looks neat and you want all the bling, you know, if you want the cowl lights and you want extra stainless and flashy, then you want side mounts, because then you can make it like even more flashy. You can add chrome rings to them. You can, you know, bling it out, right?
Yeah.
It's all personal preference. Me, I like Model A's that are plain, just plain Jane Model A.
You're a simple guy.
I'm a very simple, very simple guy.
All right, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
How are you doing, Andy? All right.
Andy can't answer back.
You don't know that.
Scream it into your phone as loud as you can, Andy. We'll see if we hear
We
you.
might have chocolate vision. Let me know when that comes out, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All right. He says that they have a 32-door, and my 22-year-old son, who is a radio sports broadcaster with a love of old technology, wants to find a period-correct radio that might have gone in and, oh, darn, I have an arrow in the way. Something 30s car like ours.
Oh,
I'm sure you could fill in that blank.
I'm sure. So he's a sportscaster. That's fantastic. So here's my answer to the sportscaster. Radios did not come in Ford Model A's. It was much later that the radio for the vehicle was invented. So Galvin Company got together with Motorola to create the world's first automotive radio, and it wasn't until the mid-30s that was available. 3 strikes, you're out. So anyway, sorry, there was no period correct radio for 1930. With that said, there's nothing at all wrong with throwing, like, we have our Zenith Transoceanic, which was made in, what, 1951 or something like that, that will run on batteries. And I used to put that in the back seat of the two-door.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's great when you're parked. As soon as the engine starts, forget it. I mean, unless the station's next door, it doesn't pick up squat. All it picks up is from the ignition system. So, yeah. I mean, once you're parked, like, and you're going to have your picnic or whatever, awesome. But we just use our Transoceanic, and I don't know, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's period correct, it's tubes, it's, you know, whatever. But in 1930, a car radio was several components that had to mount in the car. There was a control head, there was a big box in the back, there was a motor generator, and there was all this wire between. You had to insulate the roof material, and it was a big
Because of
hassle.
the chicken wire gets it all messed
Right,
up.
right. So they would use that as the antenna, and it just, yeah. So, yes, you could adapt an early 30s, like a Galvan or a Motorola. You could. And I have one that I thought someday I was going to do it. Then when I started looking at it, I went, nope, never going to do that. Nope,
All right.
nope, not going to do that.
All right, you done?
Rant complete, yeah.
Hi, Jill.
Hi, Jill.
So she's saying she was wondering what the email address to send Model A questions to.
modelatechquestions@gmail.com.
Gmail.
I'll put it right here on the screen.
Yes. So she does have a question about removing the door latch on her Model A. She says, is there a trick? Not sure if my window should be up or down. Can't find any videos to show on how to.
Window needs to be up. Is it a 2-door or a coupe, or is it like a 4-door? That's the question.
Oh,
so
that would be a difference on
yeah, there's
whether.
well, like on your car here, on your Roadster, we would take these 2 screws out and we'd pull this handle off.
Yeah.
That disengages that mechanism, and then there's screws inside here. You'd open the door, you take the screws, and then the whole thing comes out.
I have no windows though.
But you have no windows, so yeah.
So Roadsters just don't have windows.
No, but like on a 2-door, it's be the same thing. Now on a 4-door, the lock mechanism is separate from the door handle. So you still pull the door handle off, but you do have to get inside the door panel. So you got to open the door, take the door panel off, and you got to get inside there if it's a 4-door.
It doesn't matter whether the window is up or down.
It has to be up no matter what.
Oh, no matter what.
Yep.
So window up.
Window up.
Nice.
Or broken, whichever.
No. Stop it. We don't want to go there. This had to do from the video I did on wind wings.
Wind wings,
Wind wing
yes.
brackets. That was kind of fun. I liked that one.
Yeah, they look nice.
So I just see user dash YH blah blah blah. So
Hi, user.
hi user. So I don't know. You didn't put your name, so we're gonna answer your question though, hopefully. Says, I am doing the same thing with my Model A. Can you tell me what I need to do with the small adjustment screw between the brackets? I am assuming it keeps the brackets tight on the glass.
Yes.
How or when do you adjust that?
That's the very last thing you adjust.
Very last thing. Okay. Now I remember on mine, it was missing that little screw.
I remember
on
that.
One of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why won't this screw down?
That's
It's not doing anything.
That's that one we had to go back and like do that part over because you're like, why won't this thing tighten?
Yeah, and you're like, well, let me check it out.
Yeah.
Or you try to do it, and they're like, there's something wrong
Yeah.
here. And so
So I took it apart and it's missing the stupid
missing
screw.
that little itty bitty screw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that was a trip. It's like I couldn't believe that little itty bitty screw had so much to do with making that even work.
yep.
I think we are to our last question for
Oh.
this set.
Last question. Okay, who do we have?
Is Northern Arizona Porsche something or another?
Hi, Northern Arizona Porsche something or another.
Oh, it's Donnie.
Oh, hi, Donnie.
Donnie. Let's see. He says the biggest issue is the loose play in the steering. Steering wheel moves 5 to 6 inches in either direction before engaging with the car steering.
Oof.
Yeah, that's scary. I know it is a two-tooth steering gearbox, rather rebuilt in or out of the car. I am unable to find someone to do it for me and unable to do it myself. Even a complete trade out for a good condition, used, new, or rebuilt steering leaves me unable to remove or reinstall the unit myself. Okay, he says, I realize you must be a very busy guy helping other A owners. Please consider what my alternatives might be so I can get this little car going straight.
Not too busy for you, Donnie.
Aw. So what do you think? Why is he having so many problems with this two-tooth?
Well,
Is he-
if he's already tried to adjust it, which you can adjust it in the car,
Yeah,
and he's not gotten anywhere and it needs to be rebuilt for sure,
yeah. But he can't do it himself.
this is what clubs are for.
Clubs.
So even if you got a trailer at 300 miles to your nearest club, totally worth it. So most clubs have a couple of 2, 3, 5, whatever gurus in the club that know all this stuff.
They have their own bobs.
Every club's got a Bob. Okay, we have Bob Gimron in our
Or a
club.
Paul.
Or, well, I'm trying to become a Bob. But everybody's got a Bob, okay? And it's like you take your car to Bob's house, and before you can even say what your name is, they've got jacks under it. That thing's in the air. There's 2, 3 people jumping into it. And you say, hi, how are you? And Bob says, fine, chats you up. Before you get done talking to Bob, they've got the old steering box out. The new one's getting prepared. They're slamming it in. That's what clubs are for. So I know there's places in the country, didn't say where he's from, but there's places that are kind of far from a club. It's worth it. It's 100% worth it. Go to maithka.com and look at the map to find out where there's a club near you. And get a hold of them. It's worth it.
Maithka.com.
Maithka.com.
They have such awesome resources there.
Yep. And you will find a club, and I guarantee there's somebody in that club like Bob. At least one. Almost every club has a Bob. But it's way worth it, not only because, I mean, yeah, this is, maybe this is a little over your skill level right now.
Possibly a physical disability.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's fine.
Maybe.
It may be. But it is way worth it to have somebody knowledgeable who has seen a lot of these cars and seen this work done on cars to make sure that your job is done safe. Steering and brakes are the two things I don't mess with. Yeah. I mean, I do, but I don't mess around. I do everything right. There's no negotiation. If somebody says, I want to do brakes, but I want to, no, let me stop you there. We're either doing it right or get somebody else. I'm not messing with that. It's either done 100% the right way or not at all. Steering is important. So yeah, I can't stress enough how important it is. Now, you can get a steering box rebuilt. I think Burt still offers that. I think Bratton's, maybe even Snyder's. They did an exchange. I know they used to. I don't know if they still do. COVID really changed a lot. The C word. So it's like, there's BC. Everybody says, in the year, 12 BC. That stands for before COVID. So in the year 1 BC, we did an exchange on one steering box for one club member. I remember that, and then we swapped it out. And they did a great job rebuilding it. Threw it in the car, quick adjustment. That car was perfect. So if they still offer that, that's one option. But again, if it's a little above your skill level right now, that's okay. Get help.
And who knows? If you do have club members and you're not able to get the car to them, offer some coffee and snacks.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever, and see if they can come to your house and get it going for you.
Oh, yeah. We have club members that do that. They'll be like, yeah, we're going to have pizza and we're going to have that. You had me at pizza.
Yeah.
And everybody shows up. You offer food, people will show up.
Food and drinks.
Model A people like food and ice cream.
Yeah, they do love ice cream.
Oh, yeah. You offer food and ice cream? It's a done deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very possible.
Model A people will be beating down your door to work on your car. That's how Model A people are. It's amazing.
They're awesome people.
Yep. So the video coming up on my channel is going to be all about what we did here tonight before we sat down to talk to you and answer questions. So you'll see what led up to this, us sitting at our front yard campsite with lights pointed at us in the middle of the night.
Well, I can say I have a brand new
Carburetor.
carburetor.
Yeah. Well,
It's pretty too.
she has a brand new 93-year-old carburetor. Yeah, I built
It's brand new to me.
I built a Zenith for Rhodey here, and so we finally swapped the Tillotson off of it. A couple little adjustments left to do, and then this thing's going to be. It already runs way better. It's got a lot more power now.
Seems like every time you do something to it, it just runs that much
That
better.
much better, yeah. So that's the thing, though. You just kind of creep up on it. We're getting all these little things. This car didn't have any big things wrong with it. Well, other than the rust underneath. That's not, a mechanical thing.
I'm afraid if we stomp on the brakes, our legs are just going to go through.
Yeah, so she was making fun of me because I was driving without shoes on because it was hot. And then she says, oh, it's because the floor's rusty. We might have to put our feet.
Do the Fred Flintstone thing.
But this car didn't need any big thing, didn't need an engine rebuild. Well, it does need a tranny rebuild, but
I know, you said we got to do a new
we got to do a new tranny. But it didn't really need anything. It could drive home. It was capable of driving home. So all these little things that we're doing to the car that improve it just a little bit more, a little bit more. That's kind of how Model A ownership is in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You just kind of keep tweaking on the car here and there, and then eventually you've got a sorted car. You can drive anywhere, anytime.
Yeah. That's nice. It's the simplicity of the Model A.
Simple.
You can do it either by yourself, and just a few little things need maybe a helping hand or two. There's very rare that you need a helping hand or two.
Sometimes I just like somebody to cry to,
All right. Well, if you get a chance, wish Paul a happy birthday.
Thank you.
And like I said,
I'm a senior citizen now. I am. I'm actually a senior citizen now. That's amazing.
No,
I look pretty young for my age, which I'm thankful
I
for.
beat you to it. So
Yeah, well, you're 6 months older than I am. You look young for your age, too.
I hope so.
People keep guessing us to be way younger than we are. Thank you. Thank you. Because, we're really blessed. I don't know if it's genetics or good living, what it is. We're just very thankful.
I don't
So
know.
people think we're way younger than we are. That's great. But I get the senior discount at Taco Bell now.
Woo!
Yeah.
Exciting. At least there's something that goes
right.
with our age that is something positive.
That's right.
You know.
I can't wait until I'm old enough to where when I say things, it's not offensive, it's charming.
You got a ways to go, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
And let's not rush that.
No.
So anyways, enough of our shenanigans.
I didn't know I was going to live this long, really.
Really?
I didn't know that. When I was young, well, with my genetic, the heart problem, liver problem, all that.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
quality of life,
Yeah.
we still have a great quality of life. Thank Jesus for that.
Yep. I thank Jesus every day.
We have a great, we're still mobile. It hurts. We take a lot of ibuprofen. We call it vitamin I. So we take our vitamin I a lot, but we get through it. And we get in the shop, we build stuff. I mean, we look kind of terrible getting out of the car sometimes.
Today I looked like I was about 95. Let me tell you. It's allegedly supposed to cool down soon.
I heard.
Allegedly. And we're supposed to get some rain, I'm told. So we'll see if that really happens or not.
I got a lot of car parts I got to get inside.
Yeah. Wait till you see his car parts.
Wait till you see the project I'm working on right now.
You guys are just
My
gonna
dream
flip
Model A.
out. It's just so
Yep.
cool. I can't wait till he starts sharing more of that.
I'm
but
going to
we really
soon.
got to get Gandalf finished.
We got to get
We're
Gandalf finished.
finishing Gandalf by the end of the year.
Are we?
We are.
I hope so.
You better.
I know. Oh,
Poor
Ryan.
Ryan's been waiting
Yeah, sorry, Ryan.
a long time now for his
I know.
Stella.
I know.
That's what he's naming her, is Stella.
Yeah.
So we got to get on that,
We gotta
get that
finish
finished. So
Gandalf,
lots of cool stuff coming for that on his channel. And other than that, thank you guys for joining us and sticking around to, hear us flap our gums about something that we're very in love with, Model A's. And
I thought you were going to say each other.
well, they are in love with each other. That's obvious. But yeah, we got a love for these things. Got to keep them running for generations to come.
Mine is the autistic obsession with things.
Yeah.
I'm kind of obsessed with these.
Well, it seems like you're obsessed with older things and keeping them around for a long time.
Like you.
Yeah.
You're 6 months older.
Yeah. Whatever.
So maybe that's why.
Rub it in. Okay. Good night, you guys.
Good night.
Love you. Hugs and kisses. God bless you.
Help me apply for Social Security, somebody.
Can you tell me what I need to do with the small adjustment screw between the brackets? Ah, stupid bug. Hopefully it didn't go in my shirt. Okay, sorry.
You'll find out in about 30 seconds.
Only bad thing about out night is bugs. Let's see. Okay, so
Where were we?
I need to do. Tell me what I can do. No. Okay, let me start that over again. We're just gonna start the whole thing over again.
Do it.
Okay. Ah, wait, the stupid bug is in my shirt. Ah!
That just made the blooper reel.
No. Get. Ah, okay. Thank God I have a bikini top on.
And take two.
Okay.
Bloopers.
Don't mind me as I strip. Trying to get a bug out of my shirt.
Blooper reel. We can blur that.
I don't think I showed anything. Pretty sure. Okay. There's not much to show anyway.
Well, that would really increase your subscriber count.
I doubt it.